welcome back once again to the second part of our Just Talkin video, Consequences of Delusion. And as always, this and other podcasts in the Jazzy Groove Rainy Day Podcast family are brought to you by the power of 5. Again, if you like what we're doing, consider supporting the channel, and at the very least, hit the like button. And once again, for those who didn't remember from the last episode, there might be a episode of An Uncomfortable Truth on Tuesday, but after that, there will not be a video for the rest of the week while we get ready for our upcoming move. We're in the process of making things a little bit better for everybody. And we're sure that when we're back to normal, back up to strength, you're going to like what we're doing, and it's going to be that much better for it. And with that out the way, let's get back to the video and let's get back.
What does it's your...
Let's get back to the video here, please.
Old guy brings to your life?
Nothing.
Though. So why is he your friend?
I mean, you know, like, okay.
Only to fuck you.
No, not to fuck me. I would never fuck anyone
from his,
my age.
like,
No, but he's saying from his perspective, he'd only be friends with you because that's his goal.
Yeah, that's his goal, and he has nothing else.
No,
And I'd
unless
argue
we
that's
grew
why
up
most
together,
men...
like someone I grew up with, that's why I had to take that back. You know, friends my age, someone I grew up with, our family knew each other. But other than that, the men that I'm interested in are older.
Yeah, that's just fine. Yeah.
So let me just pose this question: because I don't think anybody's in a relationship. Nobody.
Damn.
If you were
in jail.
Fuck some.
Oh yeah, that I don't know if that really counts.
Yeah, but
I mean,
I don't know how you do it anyway.
So you know. Do you send him JPay?
I don't do nothing.
You don't do nothing. Oh man. So what I'm saying is that if you were in a relationship with a guy hypothetically, and I'm sure some of you guys have maybe been in a relationship before, so you have that experience. Would you be comfortable with your boyfriend having a girlfriend that's more attractive than you?
Ooh.
And why not?
Raise your hand if you are.
That's a very powerful question. And for context, they're talking about people being okay with. Well, the question is, would you be okay with your man having a hotter girlfriend, a friend that's a girl who's hotter than yourself? And spoiler alert, the answer is going to be
nope.
Let's see what they say.
If I'm comfortable with that.
So the question is, just so I make sure I clear, so for them,
Polygamy?
would they be okay with their boyfriend or their male counterpart having a female friend that's more attractive than them?
Yeah, that's more attractive than them.
Okay, how many of you would be okay with that? Raise of hands
Can we think
for
about
yes.
it for a second?
Yeah, think about it.
Okay.
Who would be okay with that? Raise of hands for yes.
Yeah, I'll
One.
be alright with that.
One.
Cap. No one would be happy with that. Nobody at all. It is what it is. Because women are vain. Because it's all about looks. And that's the way they're built. That's fine. No one's complaining about that. Let's not get it twisted. No one's complaining that they're not that their main agency is not beauty, because it is. But for women to sit here, even if it's just one, and say she'd be okay with it, she's full of it. Nobody would be fine with it. Nobody. Let's get back to it.
It's only
she
one.
Said she was cool with that.
Two.
Yeah.
Okay, and the
But
rest
it's
are
not
questionable.
even about. It's not about being cool with it though. It's just like, I don't think nobody more attractive than me. What? Period.
Yep.
That's the
Are you on planet Earth?
confidence.
Very
everywhere.
much so. We see it all right here.
No, tell them you on Mars. You're not here.
No, we right here.
Nah, we not
We
here.
see this.
All right. So what would you rate yourself out of a 10?
Uh-oh. I think a point's about to be made. Let's listen in.
10.
I mean, yeah, shit's a 10.
Always.
Like,
All right. Interesting. Okay. I guess we'll go with the girls that said no, they would not be comfortable with that. You want to go with that one first, Brendan? Or?
Yeah, let's do that because, as you can tell, it wasn't unanimous and it wasn't very quick.
Yeah, they're thinking about
had to
it, yeah.
think about it. And the question you have to ask yourself is, why do you have to think about it? And the reason you have to think about it is because it's sketchy. Guys are innately attracted to women. That's why it would be
But
just
what
say
if the woman is attracted to women too?
if a woman is attracted to women and not men.
Polygamy.
Well, no,
I'm saying
I'm
that-
saying both. I mean, I think that's more so why I would be comfortable with it. You know what I mean? Because I'm kind of open in my relationships anyway.
Oh, so
This woman is FOS. Full of you fill in the blank. Because she always has something that's going on with her. And you notice it's always about her. This conversation is not about her. It's about women in general. Now, granted, he is asking if they would be fine with it. But you can extrapolate into the larger macro, and then you can say to yourself, okay, either they do or they don't. But this one here, I'm telling you, let's get back to it.
you
Oh, yeah, her and her, they put their hands up right away. The other
Yeah.
girls are all questionable,
Right,
saying,
right.
I don't know. So, I mean, if you want to go with the people that say, no, I would not allow it, you want to ask them, or do you want to ask the girls saying,
Yeah,
yes?
no,
why
no.
not allow it? That means you're insecure, and if you're insecure, you don't need to be in a relationship because everywhere you go,
Okay, so you're with them. You would allow
Everywhere
your
you
guy to
go.
have.
Yes.
You would allow, but again, he's being specific. Your boyfriend has a female friend that's significantly more attractive than you.
Yep.
I like girls.
Okay.
No, but he,
What's the problem?
She does that
There's
probably
no
because she likes
problem.
girls.
Yeah.
So for the girls that said no, why are you saying no? We could start here with Miss Tunisia.
Well, I didn't say anything yet.
yeah, sure. Think about it, bro.
And actually, I'm still thinking. The thing is, I'm okay with him having friends, female friends.
But the key is one that's more attractive
I know,
than you.
I know.
You notice how she's not answering. That's because her gut's saying, hell no. But she's got to be PC. She's got to represent the sisterhood. But she can't bring herself to answering it. So she's gonna waffle. Let's see how long she waffles.
I really don't have an answer for that.
Yeah, let me just give you an example as a man that's in a relationship, married. Me and my wife both probably agree with this almost 1,000%, that it makes no sense for us to have friends of the opposite sex. It just really makes no sense. There are people that you know of, right? You don't just abandon people that you knew when you were younger or stuff like that. But to say they're your friend, meaning that they can contact you, meaning that I'm okay with that person coming over to my house with my wife when I'm not there, because you should be able to do that if that's your friend. I think that it's inappropriate, and it leads to people having extramarital relationships. So people are not intending at times to do those things, but it's a temptation. That's why people with nannies, they end up messing around with the nannies and doing stuff like that because they don't set boundaries. So that's typically why people should be concerned and why people should put boundaries in place so that you don't end up falling for that temptation.
But at the end of the day, it's self-control, and if you can't control yourself, then I mean that's a whole nother problem.
Right, but why make that obstacle? I don't need to make it. There's nothing a woman can be my friend in. My wife is my friend. Anything that a woman can, but see, that's a relationship.
beautiful,
But that's a
though,
relationship thing, right? I'm not talking to a woman about something I'm not talking to my wife about. So outside of that, a woman has really no purpose in being just my friend. Now it could be an acquaintance, somebody I know, somebody that I go to an event, I can make contact with, but somebody that I'm considering to be my friend, like my homeboys that are my friends. That means that we kick it with just me and them. We can go travel with just me and them. If it was just me and them at the house by ourselves, my wife wouldn't care because it's me and my boy.
Yeah.
It gets weird when you talk about the opposite sex, and there's a reason why, because men and women are attracted to each other, unless you're dealing with a situation where a person is completely unattractive whatsoever. But the question is, he may still think you attractive. So, you know, that I just think that's something that people should consider. Don't be naive.
I think the fact that
I find no flaw in his logic. I find no flaw at all. And that's why I have as many acquaintances as I have and very few friends. It is what it is. Let's get back to it.
a lot of them like question it and like, oh, I don't know. That's literally that hesitation says everything, right? Because when the shoe's on the other foot, women don't like, you know, I always say they could dish it, but they can't necessarily take it. So they always will say, well, you're insecure for not letting me have guy friends. But then if you were a guy and you were to have
girlfriends,
a lot of attractive girlfriends, they'd feel some type of way. It's just that scenario you presented is not normal. Most of the time, it's the girl that has the friends and not the guy that has the female friends that are very attractive.
That's true.
And interesting too, the girls that are okay with it are bisexual.
Right.
So are you bisexual too or no?
I have an answer.
No.
Oh, you have an answer now? Okay, what's your answer?
Oh, here we go.
Okay, so my answer is probably if I get to know her and I think she's cool and not like weird or something, how I feel about her, and they don't hang out just the two of them.
Are you
alone.
bisexual?
I'm not.
That's interesting. So she's not bisexual, but she needs some degree of control,
right?
And
that they're not
authority.
hanging out just the two of them.
Yeah, two of
so
them.
that typically means that they're not really friends.
Yeah.
Because friends should be able to hang out just the two of them with no question if they're going to be intimate together or something weird going to pop off.
So we know why. So for her, she needs control. These two like girls. Why are you okay with your guy having a more attractive female friend than you?
Because I have a guy best friend and I know him since I'm little and he's like family to me, so I could like understand if somebody else has the same.
I give him 3 days in a room with you.
Okay.
Locked up.
So for you, it's more of for you, it's more
right
of like for you, it's more like, hey, I can't impose boundaries on him that I'm not enforcing on myself.
Yeah, and
You
I
wanna
don't
be
think
equal.
that girls and boys always need to fuck or something like that.
Mostly.
No,
Not
it's
always.
not.
No, it's mostly because at the end of the day we do get hard. Believe it or not.
Maybe
And it's
that's
like,
true.
oh shit.
No, but I mean, I don't know. It's interesting. So like, because this is a good question. The basis of their answer is based on their personal like situation. So for these two, we're bisexual. It's no big deal. For her, it's he can do it, but I need a degree of authority. For her, it's well, I already have it, so I can't tell him he can't have it. Isn't that interesting? Where it's like there needs to be some type of caveat where they would allow it.
Well, and it also is based on life experience and maturity, right? And when we talk about people who are 18 years old and not a lot of life experience.
True.
You know, some of them didn't disclose their body count. So maybe that's a cover because they were freaky and don't want to disclose it, or they're not and they just don't want to say it because they don't want to put their business out there. So I'll lean towards the not, meaning that they're not really sexually active to that degree. And with that being said, they don't have the experience of people cheating on them and how dirty people can really be and people sneaking behind your back. I guess the next question I would ask is that for the women who think that that's okay, have you ever had a person cheat on you?
Ooh.
All right, we can start here and work our way around. Have you ever had a guy cheat on you?
Yes.
Oh yeah, well she's 40.
Do you want them to explain or just yes or no, Brandon?
Huh? No,
explain?
just yes or no, and
Yes
then
or
we
no?
can get into it.
No.
Okay. All right. You ever had a guy cheat on you?
You.
It's your turn.
Sorry.
Oh, me? Yes.
All right.
No.
Yes.
Why you have?
I'm kidding.
I mean,
You said yes or no for you?
I do the cheating.
I ain't gonna lie. I'm not getting cheated on.
I hope your man in jail.
No, I'm just playing.
He probably in jail cheating right now.
Paying in that cheating. Ain't no dudes in there.
You took the soap, nigga.
A
Question.
nigga gonna do what a nigga wanna do.
All right. What about you?
No,
Never been cheated on.
no.
Bro, she's
Not
so
that I
dumb.
know it, that I'm aware of anyway.
I mean, yo,
So pretty much, wow.
She said you have
Most
been.
girls here no. So only 2 have been cheated on. These 2, and the rest no.
Yeah, so I think that's a contributing factor, right? You gain a level of maturity and suspicion when things happen to you, and therefore you guard yourself. Now, I don't believe that I've ever been cheated on, but I know what men think about. Men talk about this stuff. There are certain people that you got to stay away from. You don't need any connection with that person, because if it get jiggy, it may go down. Especially, and you got to think about this. Raise your hand if you want to marry your best friend. Raise your hand. And this is how it starts, right?
wait,
I don't want to
Oh,
get
you just
married
caught
again.
people. Hold on, you just caught a few people. Raise your
mean
hand if
like-
you want to marry your best
You
friend.
mean like
Right.
you want to marry the
Haven't met yet.
What I'm
Right,
saying is
starts
that
off
when
as
I say you
friends.
want to marry your best friend, that means that the connection, a friendship connection, is invaluable to finding a mate. So having a woman with a male friend, you develop a deep enough relationship, and where does that go, right? If you're having problems with your current man and your best friend is your best friend, right? You can talk to him when you can't talk to the good person you with. And then what happens? They're there for you when the person breaks your heart. They're there they listen. And then you begin to compare the two. And then that's how infidelity happens. And this is why I think it's invaluable for people to understand the red flags and avoid them. Young people, be aware of that. Your husband or the man that you're dating, you should have a boundary there. Don't set yourself up for failure. And if that man does not hold a boundary, to me that's suspicious. If my wife tell me, hey, I don't want you being friends with these women, I don't need to be friends with these women. If I try to fight for that, to me that's a red flag. That's me looking for an out. If she mess up, I still want to hold this girl on the back end, and I think that's a problem.
All right, so question: what are top 3 things?
This man, as they say in the rep space, is based. He has yet to say anything that I can find fault with. He has yet to say anything that would make me go, wait a minute, hold up, partner, hold up. Oh. And it's refreshing to actually hear it. Let's get back to it.
That you would say that kept your marriage together? Top 3 so these girls can learn.
It's timing as well, right? I think if me and my wife, and this is where I may disagree with you guys sometimes about the age thing. I think that it was timing for us. I was in a place in my life of maturity, experience. I had a kid already. I was over that. I want to date women type stuff. I wanted to be married. And my wife was in the same situation. She was in her mid-30s when we got married. We both on the same page. We both had life experience that led us to each other. And that's how we made a commitment. And our commitment is long lasting because she partied and had her fun in college. I did my thing in college, and we met each other at the right spot. Now, when I say party and did a thing, I'm not saying my wife is out there tooting it up. You know what I'm saying? But I think that dating, being exposed to what you don't like, what you do like, sometimes women got to date men with money and get burned to realize that it's not about the money. Sometimes women got to date the dude. Y'all know it. Women talk about this a lot where dudes, good in the bedroom. You got to date that dude that's good in the bedroom, that trash your life to realize that it's not just about sex. And so there's a little bit of life experience and exposure that you have to have before you meet that person. So that the key.
There's finally a point where I've got a bit of contention. And this goes all the way back to the old argument about everybody being the same. And people saying how boring it would be. I don't think it would be boring. And I don't think it would be boring because when everyone is the same and you have the exact same outcomes, and that's all you know, how can that be boring? Seriously, How can that be boring? I'll wait. Yeah. Yeah. So the question I would bring back to this gentleman, and once again, it's not a gotcha type question. It's an honest and sincere question. And if you think you have the answer, put it in the chat, and we'll talk about it. We will talk about it. If everyone has the same outcomes, the same experiences, they are the same. They are carbon copies of each other. So you know what's going to happen. How can that be boring? That's all you know. There's nothing to compare and contrast it to, because that literally is all you know. Again, put it in the chat if you think you know something, or you have something you want to say, or anything at the matter. Just put it in the chat, and we'll dive into it. Let's get back to it.
Thing was timing, and then also, obviously, I'm a Christian, so that's what I want out of life. That's what I believe God has called me to do. So I'm pursuing that. If I didn't have that as my faith background or the foundation, then I wouldn't even pursue that to begin with. So those two things are incredibly important. And then understanding the value of marriage. That's one thing that I think a lot of people discard, maybe because they've been hurt or whatever the case may be. But the most important thing, in my opinion, that a man would do in his life is marry the right person. Marrying the wrong person will F you. Marrying the right person will set you up for success and make you the man that you could be with that wife that you would not be without her. So understanding that as an entrepreneur, I would consider a high value man, is important. And those three things together can lead you to a successful relationship.
And then fourth is sex, right? The fourth thing is sex?
No, sex, like when you...
Fifth? Sixth?
When you get to a point in life where you get married and you have children and all that, sex is not as important as people think it is.
Okay.
When you're young, all you doing is humping. All you thinking about is sex. And some people, maybe not everybody, but generally speaking, that's why you have so many people having sex. That's why I don't think there's a single person at this table that don't have a body count. And that's what people think about when they're young, because that's hot. Your mind is not developed, to its full extent. But then when you start getting older, you realize that it can't be about that. Because when you're traveling, what you supposed to do? When you and your wife are separated from each other, what are you supposed to do? When the kids are crying and you got a little young baby in the room, you may not get none like you think you want to. I mean, what do? Your relationship got to be more than just a 20-minute episode.
That's true.
So,
but, if you're together, hey, baby, I'm horny right now, what's up? She'll give it to you every time you ask, right?
No.
I'm tired. No,
but it's reasons why, right? And because we're adults, we have a real life, we got stuff to do. People do get tired, people get worn out. Take care of a little baby will wear you out. However, I think it's important that in a relationship, women do serve their husband that way. If he asks for it, you better be making sure that you provide that for him. Willingly.
Yeah, not forcefully.
Yeah.
Hey, bitch, come on, man.
I wouldn't advocate that. If you got to do that to your wife, something wrong.
Yeah, something wrong. Yeah.
But I think women should prioritize that and say, even if I don't feel like it, I need to serve my husband that way. Yeah, therefore, keep the women off of it.
A hand job, something, man.
Something. You can do anything. Anything. A lot of time, men will take anything.
Yeah, anything, man.
That's true. Again, and I know I sound like a broken record, but I find no fault or flaw in his logic. And that's another part that that I tend to lean more towards in the whole intersexual dynamic thing, is that if she says no, What's a guy supposed to do? What's a guy supposed to do? This is the market we find ourselves in these days. This is where we find ourselves. With women that are empowered to say and do whatever they want with little to no consequence, and it's looking more and more like no consequence. Hey, baby, want to fool around? No, I don't want to. Now, when you're in the dating field, you can be like, okay, where you going? I'm going to go get some. I might be back. Or, more to the point, I'm going to get some. It's been real nice knowing you. That's fine for that scenario. But once you're married and you get the no, not tonight, what's a guy supposed to do? Now, as far as all that's concerned, I've got to say, you have so many times before I say something. So many times. And once you have passed that point of no return, it is what it is. I can't help you. The one thing I will say is that you should be in a position in that relationship where you can tell her, listen, I'm not happy with this. What can we do to fix it? And just leave it there. Don't say anything else. Just leave it there. And let her imagination do what it's going to do. Because you could be thinking of something else entirely different, and her brain will go to cheating. But if you tell her that, it automatically goes to cheating, and then she's got an out. You're getting a divorce, she's getting half. But if you don't put it out there, if you simply say, what are we going to do about it? Then whatever she thinks is what she's going to say, and then you just take it and you run with it. We're going to find. Okay, this looks like a good part here.
Between and like I noticed because I can see you're trying to give game to the ladies. For women, typically advice that we give to women puts the men at a disadvantage because relationships is like kind of adversarial. So like a man's trying to gain something, right, with giving less, and the woman's trying to gain something without giving less as well. So it's like if you give advice to women, it's inherently going to put the men at a disadvantage and vice versa. Well, so for the ladies, yeah,
I disagree just a little bit on that because I think people shouldn't be playing games with each other. If you're really serious, be serious.
In a perfect world,
right, in a perfect world. But people shouldn't play games with each other. If you're really serious, be serious. Have some guidelines. If homeboy is not participating the way you want him to participate, leave him alone. Instead of trying to pray that you're going to change him. You're going to somehow be Jesus and change his life. And men the same way. If this woman is not who you want, if she's not serving the way she should, if she's not reasonable, if she's arguing, if she's combative, she's not going to change because she's throwing it back a couple more times a week. It's never going to happen. You need to leave that woman alone and save yourself for a woman that's going to do exactly what you want. Let me tell you what happens to people sometimes, especially young men. They want a woman who's patient and kind and loving. Why? men that have good mamas, that's how they mama raised them, with love and compassion and nurturing. And then they go get a girl and they want a girl to be that way subconsciously, even if they don't say it. So, you know, a young man, you know, in a situation like that, I would argue for the young man, get what you want out of a relationship. I have been in a situation where I wanted more out of a woman, and that wasn't the type of woman she was. She came from a broken family. That wasn't what she was about. You got to leave these people alone and move on. And when you stick there too long is when you have the conflict.
No, you're good.
You were trying to say something?
No, because
Oh, that's right. In the bathroom. Real quick?
yeah, but
Oh yeah. I go.
chats only, not doing when he's talking.
Yeah. No worries. Do what you got to do. Yeah. No, like I said, you know, in most situations for sure. Like most guys, if they hit too quick, they're not gonna want to take the girl seriously. So, you know, is it possible? Yes. Where they can be in a relationship afterwards. Is it probable? Probably not. So it is what it is. There's always exceptions to the rule, but you know, obviously you want to go off of the,
Well, that's why I married my wife.
the probable.
That's why I married my wife. My wife wasn't some woman that's gonna let me lay up with her and do all that stuff. She was, first of all, we were friends to start with, but she had morals, she had boundaries. She was a grown woman. She knew what she wanted. Okay. And the men know when they see that woman and when that woman don't exist. You know when a woman is serious. A lot of men that quit talking to you and they ghost you is if you put boundaries in place and you're serious, they don't want to be serious, they want to play. So they don't want you. They want the girl that's gonna play in most cases. So, you know, don't get all flustered because a guy ghosts you. It probably was a good thing in some situations. And men the same way, when a girl ghosts you, you're not the person that they want. Don't feel bad about it. She don't always have to be a gold digger. You don't want a woman like that that's flaky. So you shouldn't be destroyed because a woman ghosts you after you talk to her for a little bit. It's not the woman.
Yeah. I'd agree with that. I'd agree with that. Let's get back to it.
That you want anyway.
I mean,
I
like,
will say too though, because like with women, what's up happening? I always said like men get told overtly that they're being rejected, women get rejected covertly, and like you know, like you mentioned before, right? Like the thing about, oh, he told me this, or I thought it was this, and it really wasn't. I don't think girls know that like you might do something that he observes, and he'll say, "Fuck that, I'm not gonna take this girl seriously," but he'll just never tell you, right? And he'll keep like just dragging you on. You said in your, I don't know if it was from your situation, but you said like the thing that you think is an issue is like men aren't like transparent. Like they will date you, you think you have something going, and then they ghost you.
Exactly.
But then he followed up and asked, "Do you hook up with that guy?" Remember, he asked in the situation like, "Did you have sex with the guy before or after the problem came?" Right.
Yeah.
So in your situation, I'm not sure if you could confirm it.
I said no.
You didn't have sex with him, right?
No.
Yeah. So do you think you made him wait too long and he said, "Fuck this"?
No.
So what was it that made him leave then, in your opinion?
Well, I don't know.
So you have no clue.
How old was he?
Actually, two of them did it. So the first one, how old he was now, or
No, how old was
he
when
was
this happened?
When this happened.
occurred? Was he older than you or younger than you?
One was older, one was younger. One was 18, I think, or 19, and one was 23, maybe. So you should think actually 23 is. I mean, obviously you're not gonna be that mature, but
How long were you seeing each of them before they left you?
2-3 months,
For both.
something like that. Yeah.
Okay. And you didn't have sex with either of them?
No.
Yeah, that's why they left. They're like, "Fuck this." Make him wait too long. I mean,
No, I said, well, the first issue with the first guy happened like before. It was like maybe 2 weeks after we met.
And he just ghosted you? Is that what?
Well, he said like he's not ready for. Okay, that was my mistake probably. He said he's not ready for a relationship, but then
All right.
he came back and said it was just that he was scared because he came from a long relationship and then.
So side chick, right?
What?
Side chick.
No.
You was side chick.
I wasn't. He
You
broke
just
up.
said he came from a long relationship and he can be with you, right?
But how
So,
does that make any sense?
I think you mean she's a rebound.
Oh, she's a rebound.
You may not have known it, but if a guy came out of a long relationship and now he want to be with you, but then he break it off with you because he's not quite ready, it's
Yeah,
more than likely it's
true.
because he still had feelings for the other person, and you were just somebody he wanted to try. And good thing you didn't have sex with him because you would be in a worse position. And since you didn't, that's probably why he said, you know what, I'm not going to waste my time with this girl because she wasted my time, because that's what he wanted.
Actually, it went like longer than that.
Chance of getting struck by lightning than to find a guy you actually want to be with, right? There's a difference between finding a guy, but it's the guy that you actually want to be with.
All right, so we have this calculator here. So let's.
Okay, and here's my favorite part of the video, the female delusion calculator. Now, before we play this, we're going to give you a spoiler alert right off rip. No matter where they find their man to be, top 1%, top 0.001%, doesn't matter. They're going to wait for him. Scientific data stares them right in the face and says, you're not going to find him. The chances of you finding this man are practically non-existent. And watch, they'll still say, I'll wait for him.
Pull this up. This is the best assessment of men in the United States. So what's the minimum age you would go for and maximum age?
Minimum,
Yep.
28.
All right, 2.
Whoa.
Maximum,
Yeah, she likes the
50.
50. All right, minimum height. What was it again? You said it earlier.
5'4".
5'4". Minimum?
Yeah.
All right.
No.
Race.
I mean, I'm pretty much open to anybody. Long as-
Even an Indian guy?
yeah, I did Indian guy.
This is all cap. This part of it's cap. You know you have a preference. And he's asking what your preference is. Not what you would date, what's your preference? What's your ideal guy gonna be? He didn't ask you what you would date. And that's why this is cap.
Thank you,
Last
come
year.
again.
So you're okay. So you're cool with that pool. What about Bling Bling? Would you date an Asian guy?
Yeah, all of them.
Ekro? Yeah.
Yeah.
And Jamal? All right, she'll do it all. All right, minimum education for you then.
High school.
All right. Minimum income, what was it? You said $6K a month?
Wait, high school?
Yeah.
Drugs? So he scams and shit?
No, I
Because
mean,
like the
there's-
minimum education in high school, like most likely he's doing some fuck shit.
Oh,
right?
yeah, it's Miami.
I have a question.
Wait, before we do the question.
she knows. I mean,
So that $6,000 a month, that's about $72K per year?
Yeah.
72? All right. And then can you be married?
No.
Okay, can you be obese?
No.
sorry, Mom. Thank you.
Now this comes from the U.S. Census Bureau National Health and Nutrition Examination Survey and the CDC.
He can't be obese.
Yeah, can't be obese. Can't be, yeah.
Yeah.
Go back.
Oh,
Oh,
you
she
gotta
almost
start
had
over.
it. All right, put 72.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was 72,000. See, she almost had, hey, if it was spending, she was going to get some options.
Yeah, bro. Yeah.
All right,
85.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Let's see here. Yeah, check them all.
And she put like
And then 5'4".
Yeah.
And then minimum education high school.
like-
This might be the most reasonable situation we've
But
seen.
5'4" is like the
That's the
factor.
minimum.
Damn, the nigga made that.
And okay, so about 4% of men meet your requirements.
Okay.
All right, you got a chance. Kind of reasonable. So you scored 3 out of 5 cat bags.
And that's not including personality.
Yeah.
The way he smells, the way he talks.
Gay men.
Again, man, hey.
Yeah, this doesn't
tuck
account for all
around.
these other circumstances.
Yeah,
like they
so
could
bi
be,
men, yeah.
yeah, it could be bi, ugly, not charming, not charismatic,
And
boring.
These girls won't
It's
date
all
bi
men.
at all.
So, but yeah, you got a chance.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't want you to think that it's impossible, right?
It is possible.
You can find somebody that you love and you can fall in love with them, because there's maybe a man in a situation like you, and no matter what happened in the past, you still got a future potential.
Now I'm calling cap on him. Because yeah, you could. But even at 4%, that's needle in the haystack territory. So while you could, I doubt that you will. And remember, this is your ideal date. This is the guy you would stop everything for. You'd marry this man in a heartbeat if he knocked on your door today. I said, here I am, take me. you would marry him. It's who you want. And that's what I think a lot of people don't get. And that's due to our old friend Delusion. People, women will take this calculator and they'll go through it. Okay, on this one, she got a 4% chance of finding her man, which is a hell of a lot better than most people that I've seen. So you get people, I don't know. You get people who see this and they go, he's out there, I know he is. And the chances of him being out there are there. They're remote, but they are there. And that's when people have to start getting their head into their heads, and especially women. He's out there. But the question is, are you going to find him? Because the deeper question is, does he want you? Okay, you want him, fine. Does he want you? Or are you his Mrs. Right Now? And that's what it is. Everything in the female delusion calculator is superficial. And when I say superficial, I mean literally skin deep. Hold on a second. Well, this one's going to be interesting. Let's try this.
Yeah. Do it.
Okay.
I'm looking at the screen, but yeah. Okay.
Wait, is that water or tequila?
It's water.
Okay, because like you.
No, I was laughing at the screen.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Fuck.
She can't vote.
Wait, what? Like, fuck what? Hey, listen. I ain't your nigga, all right? So relax.
I'm not
Hey,
talking to you like
hey, yo, don't swear at me because I heard that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I
hey.
said.
You said what? You said
I said
fuck.
the fuck. Cause
Yeah,
you asked me what.
I don't care. Like, no female is gonna swear at me, all right?
Swear are you?
Yes, the fuck? They heard it. We heard it, all right?
You asked me was it tequila.
Yeah, but don't the fuck me, all right? Because like,
that
black.
hurts your feelings.
No,
Are
because
you being emotional on the
what?
podcast?
Because you're rude, annoying, 18 with bodies, all right? So don't try me, all right?
Bodies.
The fuck? Yeah, it's bodies. Because like, listen, sorry to say, you're a virgin at 18.
I'm not a virgin.
Yeah, you a hoe.
I'm not a hoe.
Yeah, you are. You fuck niggas.
I'm a hoe.
Yes. How many bodies do you have right now? You can't even tell because you're a hoe.
Fuck. I'm a hoe.
Yes, you are a hoe at 18 because you know better.
I'm a
Because the whole time you're advanced as fuck, but then I'm like, why is you advanced? Because you've been through dicks.
Hey, that Hennessy on your ass.
Wow. Wow. And I say that because he's right. She knows better. She knows better. But she's going to do what she wants to do. And because she does what she wants to do, what she wants to do, and she does what she does, the outcomes are less than optimal. You know better. Keep your legs closed. 3/4 of the problems that women have today wouldn't be there if they closed their flipping legs. Don't worry about Mr. Right now. Worry about Mr. Right. Because if you focus and fixated on Mr. Right, you'd pass up a lot of these Chads and Tyrones and these guys who move with impunity and just hit it and quit it whenever they want. And more guys are going to find you, like you, and want to wife you. Let's listen to a little bit more of it.
I don't care.
That hand dog on
Yo, the hands ain't the
that
truth.
hand dog on
You
your
hoe.
ass.
The hands ain't the
Oh,
truth.
shit.
You weren't white because they're purity, but you're not pure. You a hoe.
Think so? I'm a hoe.
Yes.
I'm a hoe.
Okay.
Prove me wrong.
Next.
I'm a
She
hoe.
can't
I'll say
vote.
this.
Hey,
I ain't
She can't
hoe.
vote.
I'm just saying, hold on. I want to figure out. I want to figure out what the fuck in your brain makes you sit here and
You mad?
on podcast
You mad
call
though?
me a hoe.
You mad
All right,
though?
Chris,
No,
hold
no,
on.
no, no,
Just
no,
chill
no,
out.
no,
Chill
no,
out for
no,
2
no,
seconds.
no, 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 no,
All right,
no,
you're
no,
mad
no.
though.
Why
You're
are you
mad.
coming at me like that?
Look,
Why are you
because
coming at
God
me like
came
that?
on your
Who's a
face.
hoe?
'Cause you a hoe.
Who's a hoe?
All right, let me.
Heaven on motherfucking
ignore
earth,
him.
nigga. Respect me. I don't let no man disrespect
Why
me.
is
Fuck
that
what you
you?
talking
Hey,
about.
you-
No, because
you
I
can
was
leave.
trying to keep it calm.
Hey, walk out then.
All right.
Okay,
Chris.
like what you want me to do?
Chris,
You want me
Chris,
to
hold on one
leave? You're
second.
tripping. You just came at me.
Chris, chill out.
You just came. You
Chris, chill out.
you know what? You wanted
Hold
to
up.
start with me because I'm the darkest skinned girl on here, and you always do that shit, bro. Like
Always?
real talk.
Me?
You
And now she plays the victim card. Get the fuck out. Get out. Get out. Go ahead. Bye, bye, bye. Get out. We don't have time for that nonsense here. We don't have time for it. You want to go, go. You will not be missed. And the minute something starts to go sideways, you revert to your stereotype. Because now you're all in your feelings. If you're not a hoe, I'm not a hoe, and be done with it. The very fact that you're fighting it as hard as you are, it tends to make me think, yeah, you are a hoe. Because if you weren't, it wouldn't faze you. And that's something that I'm gonna say to women. If someone says a remark that does not apply to you, in this case, you're a hoe. If you don't think you're a hoe, let it rock. Like water off a duck's back, let it slide. The very fact that you got as hated as quickly as you did tells me, yeah, you are a hoe. Now the matter is, how much of a hoe are you? Not just are you a hoe, how much of a hoe are you? And she's 18 years old to boot. So you know she's upset about it. Because now he hits you where it hurts. Yeah, you're a hoe. I'm thinking you're closer to a super hoe than a hoe.
You're coming at me.
All right.
What
Let
the
me.
fuck?
Just
No,
relax.
he
Yeah,
just
yeah,
really
yeah.
No, no,
trying
no,
me
no.
on some shit, bro.
Yeah, but how you respond to
Always.
him is on
Yeah,
is
I
on
don't know
you.
that
Don't
kid.
respond to him.
Bro, that shit
If you
is weird,
listen,
bro. Why
if
is
you
he
feel like
coming
you,
at me
no,
like
that's
that?
fine. If you
I'm
ain't,
a hoe.
listen,
And all this other shit. Where did you? How? Prove it. Where's the proof?
If you-
Put it on the
listen,
table.
Your body count.
listen. If you
the
listen,
fuck up.
if you don't feel it is true, don't react to it.
Right.
Like,
He's
bro,
just
no,
trying to
I don't care.
Don't-
You're just
don't let it- don't-
talking.
There it is. There it is. There it is. I'll give it to you again. He said it. If it doesn't occur, if it doesn't apply to you, don't answer it. Rather than say nothing and let people think you're a fool, then you open your mouth and remove all doubt. There's a thought. Yeah, she might be a hoe. She might be a hoe. You're a hoe. she's a hoe. Let's just do a little bit more of it.
Let it upset you.
Crazy,
She
like,
has an
and for
opinion.
me to be, and then for you to sit here and say, "Oh, you 18?" Da-da-da.
Oh,
Yeah,
you're a large fuck right now, man.
I'm 18.
All right. Look. Here's the thing, right? The reason why there's a little bit of confusion is because you said some really smart stuff earlier in the show. Like you actually were very up on a lot of things.
But
made
when
a lot
did he get I'm a whore?
Hold on, let me just finish. Don't worry about him.
Yeah,
you made a lot
facts.
of astute observations. So when we asked you this question,
petty as fuck.
we were expecting like I guess a more articulate answer. That's why we're kind of surprised by the disparity because like you gave really smart insights before. So like when we asked you, hey, what do you think about the elections or who'd you vote for? You said, hey,
Okay.
there's 4 people. Let me just finish. When you said, hey, there's 4 people that decide everything, your vote doesn't matter. That's why we're like, okay, well, we're interested. Like you made some smart statements earlier. Who are those 4 you think? That's why
All
we're
right, can I
confused.
say something?
Sure.
Okay, with me being 18, like I just said, women have problem not listening. Like he just said, oh, I said I'm not educated on everything exactly how I'm supposed to be. I'm not saying I know everything. I'm not coming on here trying to act like I'm popping it or I got all my shit
Bro,
together
this is a
or
night
I
and day
know
difference,
this
man. This
or
is
I
a
know
night and day
that.
difference, bro. Like,
But we're just
Like, what the
confused.
hell?
man.
We're just
Night
confused
and day.
because like you made a the
No,
reason
but
why.
no, the only thing
Hold
I'm mad about
hold
is him
hold
coming out his name
hold
to
on.
call me
Ignore
a
him for now.
whore.
Ignore him for a second.
All right, Mark, go
Okay,
ahead.
just ignore him for a second. Again, because you said 4 people, so it was kind of like particular. That's why we were curious. That's all. And I think everybody else here was curious too.
All right,
We're
Chad.
so
W.
past
Henry Chris,
that.
man. Let's go, man. Hey, listen, man. I knew you was holding shit back, man. You can't fool me. All right? Because
Holding what back?
Because I exposed your nature right now.
Expose my nature.
You popped off.
Yeah, because you really had me fucked up.
If you're not a
I'm not
hoe,
someone
don't
that
say
can
you a hoe.
disrespect. No, it's just how you, like, that was out of nowhere, though. Come on, y'all. Let's be so for real. Like, that shit was so out of nowhere.
All right, let's move
I
on.
No, you calling me a whore was out of nowhere.
I don't mean to be Big Brother or somebody daddy
No,
on the
a
show,
whore.
but listen, hold on. You know, clearly,
Fuck.
you guys got into it. He wanted to trigger you, and that's what he did. If you are not a whore, then you don't have to respond to it. If you hold on, let me finish.
Listen.
I look at the chat, and people say all kind of crazy stuff about me. How many times do I
Simp.
care? I do not
pill.
have to respond to what people are saying because I know what the truth is. I understand you felt disrespected, but at the same time, you have to understand how to block out what somebody's saying if it's not true. Now, if it's true, that's something you got to deal with. But if it's not true, let somebody be petty if they want to be petty. You don't have to respond to that.
And I warned you.
There it is again. There it is again. And that's where we're gonna leave it. It's real simple. It's so simple it's disgusting. It is so simple it's disgusting. If somebody says something to you that does not apply to you, ignore it, keep it moving. And that goes for anything. People have told me, oh, you're white. You sound white. Am I white? No. I can start keep it moving. It may bother me a bit, as I'm sure it bothers her a bit. But I have the strength of character to go. It doesn't apply to me. Therefore, I'm not going to dignify it with a response. And that's what Tatum saying. And he said it to her again. And you can tell by the look in her face that she does not care. She's all the way in her feelings. Not just deep, she's totally deep in her feelings. Which is unbelievable because that tells me, yeah, she's a hoe. How much of a hoe is she? Now, she might not be a hoe. I don't know her. She might be Okay, well, she's not a virgin, but she might be darn close to one. She might be. But the way she answered that question and went off on her tirade, no, she's not. She's got a lot of them waiting for her when she gets out of here. She's going to hit every last one of them on the way out the door. Again, I don't know this chick from Adam. I don't know what she's doing. I'm not trying to know what she's doing. She's just another chick on a podcast. But her worldview, how she sees herself in the grand scheme of things, is nothing short of delusional. All her life, she's a princess. She's special. She's unique. She's a queen. And has shown absolutely nothing to validate any of those statements. I want a traditional man. Are you a virgin? No, then you don't qualify. End of sentence. Because that's baseline. That is the baseline for being traditional, is waiting till you're married to have sex with your husband. You don't engage in any sort of extracurricular activities till then. And if you can't wait, then you're not traditional. End of discussion. And with that, we come to the end of yet another one. If you made it this far, this is a long one. But if you made it this far, thank you very much for tuning in and allowing me to continue my tirade against modern women. And it's not because I'm mad at them or angry at them or anything like that. That is not the case at all. My point of issue with them is what you want and what you get are totally different things, and I'm here to tell you why you can't get them. We guys also we have a part to play in it, and we need to check ourselves. But we have, and that's why you're seeing the disparity in the dating market that you see today, because men have finally said, okay, enough. If you don't want me, I'm either going to go where I am wanted, or I'm simply not going to bother. Remember, we operate in the power of 5. If you rock with us and you like the content, you want to see more, like, comment, subscribe, notify via notification bell, share. Those 5 things will help us with the YouTube algorithm, pushing us about to more and more people. And maybe, just maybe, making a difference in somebody's life. And as long as I can do that, my job is done. Because that's what I'm here for. And with that being said, OBJ here saying, take care of each other, do better, and we'll see you on the next one.